Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Jay from IELTS Daily, and today we're going to be answering another question from the IELTS Speaking Test Part 2. So let's get started, shall we? So as I said, we're going to be answering a question from Part 2 of the IELTS Speaking Exam, and once again, I'm here with Chris. How you going, Chris?
Hey Jay, I'm doing really well. Can I just ask, you don't know any of these questions beforehand, do you? They're all new questions for you.
Yeah, they're new. I'm trying to simulate the testing environment as much as I can.
Exactly. So in the test, we try to collect as many recent questions from students as possible. So all of these questions have appeared recently in the test. Today's question I know is a little bit hard. I'm going to send it over to your iPad just now. So on the screen, you'll see the question, which is as follows. Describe a gift you gave to somebody which took a long time to choose. You should say what the gift was, who you gave the gift to, what was the reason for giving the gift, and explain why it took a long time to choose. Right, Jay, so you have a minute to start preparing your answers. It would be great if you could share some of your ideas with the students. Off you go.
All right, so this is probably one of those examples where I'm going to struggle a little bit because I don't have a very good story or that I can draw from. I'm kind of scrambling, and you're going to be experiencing this during the test too. I'm just going to pick my father-in-law because I know that in the past he is a bit difficult to buy gifts for. He doesn't really have any hobbies. He's a very hard worker. He doesn't really do anything in his spare time. So yeah, I'll say him, and the gift that I gave him was a weather machine because he enjoys watching the weather. And I guess if you had to say he had a hobby, that's what it would be. So that's basically what I'm thinking about here, and what I'm going to try to talk about in my response.
Okay, that's your minute up. This is a piece of advice for students. If you really struggle, if it's very difficult for you to find ideas, you can invent a story, or you could talk about somebody else who may have had this same problem. Right, Jay, are you ready?
Yeah, I think so.
Ready as you'll ever be.
Yeah.
It's 1 minute or more starting now.
Okay, so the gift that I gave to somebody that took a really long time to choose was probably a weather machine, or it's an electronic weather gadget or gizmo that I gave to my father-in-law for his birthday one year. And this took a long time for me to come up with this idea because my father-in-law is a really hard worker. He's a great man, but he doesn't have a lot of hobbies. So when I say hobbies, things like reading or playing video games or playing sport, he doesn't really do any of those types of things. So when it comes time to buying him a gift, very difficult. Christmases, birthdays, any holidays where gifts are usually passed between us, it's really hard to think of things. So this weather machine was something that I spent a long time thinking about and walking to the shops and going in and out of many different shops. And I do remember that, you know, he does enjoy watching the weather and seeing the cloud patterns, and whenever a cyclone comes into the coast, he tracks that. So I thought, well, maybe I'll get him like a little weather machine so that way he can put this in his house and he can track the weather that way. So I think that's probably the gift that I got him, and why that took a long time for me to find it for him. How'd that go, Chris?
Super. That was 1 minute and 30 seconds.
Okay, not bad.
I agree. This is a really, really tricky question, and you have to have a really specific answer. So on the test day, I would recommend try to think of either inventing a story or trying to bend the truth a little bit. Maybe that's telling a white lie. So you talked about a gizmo.
Mm-hmm.
What's a gizmo?
A gizmo is just another word for a little device, a technological device.
Electronic device?
Yeah, electronic device.
You said that he doesn't have a lot of hobbies, which is great. You bought him a weather machine, and you said that he likes seeing cloud patterns. high-level language there, and you talked about cyclones. What's a cyclone?
So a cyclone is, there are two other words for a cyclone, so it could be called a typhoon or a hurricane, depending on where in the world you're from. Basically a big, massive, large storm system that develops off the coast of a country, of a continental landmass, and it develops over the ocean, and it twirls in a counterclockwise motion, I believe. And usually when it hits land and cities, it creates a lot of damage. It's a very massive and dangerous storm.
I'd be interested to find out if any of our viewers have cyclones in their areas, and if they call them cyclones, hurricanes, or
Typhoons, yes.
So yeah, it'd be interesting, because I think in places like Indonesia it's one, and Bangladesh it's another. So it would be interesting to find out where they called them these different words. Really, really great high-level language there, Jay. I learned lots about your life, which was wonderful. And do you have any ideas what you're going to buy your father-in-law for his next birthday?
No clue. So I better get started thinking about it right now.
That's all from me. Thanks, Jay.
So thanks a lot, guys. We'll get back to you next time, all right? Keep watching IELTS Daily.